The myth of the self-made person built America's identity, but it also built a culture suspicious of anyone who struggles. We're at a moment where that myth is cracking. More and more people are realizing that needing help is not a failure. It's a universal experience. And maybe that's where change begins. Welcome to Spiritual Geography. I'm Joni Miller. There are moments in every life when we simply can't shoulder what's in front of us, when grief or illness or job loss or family upheaval knocks the wind out of our plans, out of our sails. When I look back on my own life, I feel such gratitude for the people who stepped in at those times, like coworkers who quietly absorbed extra work while I was grieving, neighbors who walked my dog when I broke my ankle, family who stepped in during my divorce. And yet, the ethos many of us were raised with insists we shouldn't need help. Asking was considered a kind of failure. Years ago, when I was preparing my childhood home to sell, I finally swallowed my pride and asked friends to pitch in. Later, one of them told me, "We knew you must really need help. You never ask." That's when I knew something inside me felt needing others was some kind of breach of character. But we all need others, every single one of us. If you pause and think back over your own life, you can probably trace a whole constellation of people whose care helped carry you through something you couldn't manage alone. We are interdependent to our very core, yet we're saturated in a national mythology of rugged independence, bootstraps, a picture of a lone cowboy silhouetted against the wide vista of the West. Buried within us is the idea we succeed entirely on our own. And that mythology has also distorted how we interpret struggle. Some people's hardships are seen as understandable, even deserving of compassion. Others are dismissed as personal failure, as if they should have tried harder, planned better, or somehow anticipated the unimaginable. There's a well-known illustration of children of differing heights trying to watch a baseball game over a fence. Equality is giving each the same box, helpful to the tallest and useless to the shortest. Equity adjusts the box to the child's height so each can see. But then there's the third panel. The fence itself is removed. No boxes, no comparison of who deserves what. Just the simple removal of what blocks someone else's thriving. Our cultural myths teach us to admire the person who climbs the fence alone, but not the person who can't reach the top board, and certainly not the person who dares to ask why the fence is there at all. The whole question of who deserves help reminded me of an old Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode, one set in a near future America, where people who needed support were placed into walled-off sanctuary districts. Not because they were dangerous, but because they were inconvenient, out of sight, out of mind. It was science fiction, but the moral question was unmistakable. When a society is built around the myth that everyone should make it alone, it becomes easy to hide away the people who challenge that myth. It becomes easy to decide those people don't matter. What the Deep Space Nine episode captured long before our current moment was how a society's systems reflect its stories. If our cultural myth is that good people make it on their own, then our policies, our programs, and even our casual conversations begin to treat need as a moral flaw. We design systems with so many hoops and hurdles that asking for help feels like an application for college. Am I deserving enough to get in? Have I proven my worth? We assume fraud where there is usually just exhaustion. Then we act surprised when people fall through cracks that were never designed to catch them. But if you look closely, the real problem isn't individual failings. It's the way we've built our collective life around the illusion that independence is the natural state and interdependence is the exception. The irony is that every one of us benefits from systems. We benefit from roads, from schools, from emergency services, power grids, farmers who grow our food, and workers who deliver our packages. We're woven together, whether we want to admit it or not. Yet we resist building systems that honor that reality. We resist tearing down the fence. We cling to the idea that needing help means you didn't try hard enough. It's your own fault. That's the deeper harm of the myth. It narrows our imagination. It keeps us focused on handing out boxes at the fence instead of asking why the fence is there in the first place. Underneath all of that is this simple truth. Worth is not conditional. It shouldn't be measured by productivity or income or self-sufficiency. It shouldn't be measured by who makes fewer mistakes than someone else. It shouldn't be something you can lose because life overwhelmed you. Worth is inherent. It's the baseline for every human being. When we forget that, our judgments get sharper, our systems become stingy. We start to believe some people matter more than others. And we design a world that reflects that hierarchy back to us. But when we remember that every person is already worthy, something shifts. The fence begins to fall away. The stories we tell about struggle soften. Then our policies can start from care rather than suspicion. And we begin to imagine a society where help isn't rationed like a scarce resource, but offered like a shared responsibility. The invitation today is simple. Pay attention to where the fences still exist in your mind. Who have you decided should be able to make it alone? Where do you assume someone must have failed instead of simply fallen on hard times? And what would it look like to remove one of those fences? The ones in our minds, the ones we place between people, and the ones built into our systems. And while we're imagining, let's imagine a world where all the fences fall away, remembering that we belong to one another. Because the moment we stop rationing worth is the moment we start building a world where everyone has room to stand, breathe, and thrive. A world of love. We don't understand the mysteries of the universe, but we can grow more love. Love for ourselves, love for others, and love for the infinite mystery that lays beyond our understanding. Thank you for tuning in.